Hey, what's up everyone? PersNikity here, moving on with the Alien Isolation Nightmare walkthrough, and we're moving on to Mission 16, so we're getting pretty close to the end. Remember, the game is 19 missions long, however, the last mission is more of a cutscene than a mission, so there's really only 18 gameplay-oriented missions, and so that means we only have 3 left, and Mission 18 is pretty simple. Mission 17 is going to be pretty hard. Mission 16 here, Mission 16 has the potential to be really tough, but if you do this correctly, you should be able to get through this pretty well. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is that you use your shotgun here, so you should have a fair amount of shotgun ammo. Assuming you've been following my walkthrough up until this point, then you'll notice I haven't really used my shotgun a whole lot. I really haven't used any of my weapons a lot. So the shotgun's going to be handy here, but the shotgun really is just kind of a last effort, a last-ditch effort in case the enemies see you. Because what's going to happen here is you should recognize this location. This is way back from like Mission 4. This is Seegson Communications. And this time, instead of androids running around, there are going to be human security soldiers. And they're all going to have weapons, and they're all going to shoot you on sight. So the main trick here is don't hesitate. You're going to want to be crouched, and you're going to want to follow this path exactly. So check this out. I'm not going to hesitate or anything like that. I'm going to go straight into this room, and I'm going to sneak around this lower part of the room right here. And like I said, there's going to be numerous soldiers here, or numerous security guards, and they will shoot you on sight. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get by most of these people without being seen. However, you're going to see there comes a point where I do decide to just use the shotgun. You don't have to worry about the alien right now. As far as I'm concerned, based on my experience, the alien didn't come until later on in the level. So you see right here, I'm going to turn this corner, and then I had no choice but to just kill this guy. So there you go. I said, I could have easily just waited and stealthed around him, but and you see right there, I did take a shot to the shoulder. So it's not the perfect approach, but it's a useful approach because it just allows you to get through this a lot quicker. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have no problem killing that guy. Like I said, if you want to play it extra safe, you could easily just hide for a second and let him turn around and then maybe kill him from behind or just sneak past him altogether. But you see right there, I got through that whole section and I only took 1 hit. And, ideally I should get through the section without getting hit once. But I can take a hit, that's okay, because this is really going to be the last area that you have to worry about humans anyway. You're not going to have to worry about them in Mission 17. You're not going to have to worry about them in Mission 18. And the thing is, from this point on, the humans are the only ones that can actually hurt you, because if the alien catches you, it's a one-hit kill. You're dead no matter what if the alien catches you. So all your med kits that you have right now, you can use those. So if the humans happen to hit you, that's okay. And so that's why I'm fine with that happening. And so then I'm going to sneak through this vent here, and I'm going to open this large orange door. And that's important to open that because that will help you on your way back, because we are going to have to backtrack through this area near the end of this level. Now there's a security guard that's going to come out of that door and into the other door. So go ahead and duck into here first. And while his back is turned, you can actually just take him out with a couple hits to the dome with the wrench. It should take like 3 or 4 hits to kill. And at this location, there's no one nearby, so you don't have to worry about anyone hearing that or anything. Now, just to be safe, at the top of this staircase, there's a save location. And you're going to see the room that I skipped. There's actually going to be an item in that room. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up here and save my game, just to be safe, just in case one of the humans happens to come by looking for his partner, or just in case an alien decides to randomly drop down out of a vent. Either way, we just snuck past like 5 or 6 different security guards, so this is a really good time to save your game so that you don't have to worry about doing that ever again. And one of the things you can do, one of the approaches you can take is you can just try to kill all the security guards now. But I actually recommend against that, and that's because, like I said, we're going to have to backtrack through this level, and when you're backtracking, the alien is going to be out. And so if you keep the humans alive, you can use those humans to distract the alien. So the alien will run around killing all the humans, and while it's killing humans, you can go ahead and make a run for it. So it's actually a good idea to keep the humans alive now so that later on it makes your life slightly easier. Alright, so now you see I went ahead and just went down there to get that item since I saved my game. And so now with the game being saved, I'm going to continue making my way on. And there's a side passage here, it doesn't matter. You can take the regular hallway or you can take this side passage. There's a sensor here. So if you don't have any sensors or if you need a sensor, it might be worthwhile to just take this path instead. Either way, this is just a side path. It'll get you right back to the main location right here. Once again, you're just going to want to pay attention to the vents overhead, make sure that there's no saliva dropping down or anything like that. And you can actually use these vents here, and sometimes there might be items inside, but I think in this case there was nothing useful for me that I could find. Like right here, it's kind of annoying. You can see a whole case came out, yet I couldn't even open the case, so I was just kind of like, what was the point of that? But anyway, if you turn left right here, you will see Ricardo and share a brief little conversation with him while he gives you your next objective. And so what we're going to have to do in this level is we're actually going to have to put on a spacesuit and go outside of the station into space. And that part is, in my opinion, it's actually really boring. I feel like it takes away from the game. And you'll see what I mean when we get there, but it's kind of unnecessary. I feel like it just kind of bored me. Especially at this point in the game where like things are getting really exciting because the game, we're reaching kind of like the climax and the game's about to end and everything. But anyway, Ricardo will open that door for you and then just make your way down the hall to the elevator here. And then, as we typically do with elevators, you're going to take this to the next area. And again, the next area, the area that we're going to find ourselves in, it's another familiar location. So you should have no problem getting lost. It's just that this time, you're going to see in a second when we get to the room, but this time instead of going right like we did way back in Chapter 4, we're going to go left. And it's actually going to be really simple. There are going to be a couple humans in this room, so of course you're not going to want to sprint or shoot your weapon or anything like that. But we are actually going to take the same approach. So here you see we get to this place. You might want to just save your game just because you can. And in this room, there's going to be 2 or 3 humans. And once again, I recommend keeping these humans alive because when we come back to this room, there's going to be an alien. And if you keep the humans alive, the alien will run around killing them. And that will kind of serve as a distraction so that you can get past the alien no problem. And you're going to see that later on in the video, of course. But anyway, to sneak past these guys, it's actually really simple. Just duck down into this vent here. And then you're going to exit this vent and swing an immediate left. And all the humans are over there anyway, so there's really, it's really, I mean, you'd have to do something really stupid in order for them to actually see you. So instead what you're going to do is you're going to go down this hallway here and use your ion torch on this door. And all we're doing now is we're just kind of prepping to go outside of the space station, which, like I said, is kind of a slower area. But yeah, so this walkthrough is coming to a close. I've actually already beaten the game. I beat the game yesterday, and now I'm just going through and adding the commentary. So I think like this video was the longest one left, and then the next video is going to be like 20 minutes. The one after that's going to be 20 minutes, and then the final chapter is only like a minute long. It's not even really a chapter. Now what I'm trying to do here is you see that I keep getting this little search prompt, but it only lasts on screen for like a second, so I'm trying to search this guy's body, and then there was nothing in there anyway, so I just wasted like 20 seconds for nothing. Kind of frustrating. Nightmare mode is tough. Don't get me wrong, this game is definitely not on my top 5 like hardest games to beat. Oh, real quick, so to solve this terminal, it's really weird. You're going to want to hold your D-pad in one direction and then wait for the symbol to appear, and then just press A to lock it in. It's hard to explain. It's something you just got to kind of tinker with. It's a really weird type of puzzle. And then this one here, you just have to line up the circles. So you see these horizontal and vertical bars. You want to line those up with the circle, and then this circle that's growing, once it lines up with your circle, you're just going to press A to match them. Again, just a really weird puzzle that the game just randomly throws at you. But yeah, so given the fact that I play games on the hardest difficulty, I usually like to rank the games, and I'm thinking about making a video. I'm thinking about making a video, like maybe like my top 5 hardest games that I've beaten, or something along those lines. And honestly, Alien would not be in the top 5. This is a great game. It's a really fun game. And don't get me wrong, it was pretty challenging, and there were a lot of times where I wanted to just throw my controller and start screaming at the creature. But there was no particular part that I thought was like impossible. I think the most levels I beat, it took me like maybe 30 minutes to an hour to beat. I mean, there were even some levels that I got through with only like 1 or 2 deaths. So this game was definitely not impossible or anything like that. It was just hard. It just made you kind of have to adapt because, normally I would be more aggressive and I would just shoot everyone and I would run around and just spray the alien with the flamethrower anytime it got near me. But this mode really makes you change your approach, and it makes you be much more conservative with your supplies. It makes you be much more stealthy. It's a lot more stressful. So I did really enjoy this difficulty setting. Nightmare mode is definitely a fun challenge. If you're going for the Survivor achievement, which is to beat the game on the hardest difficulty setting, you don't have to beat it on Nightmare. You can actually beat it on Hard to get that achievement. So if you're strictly just trying to get the achievement for the sake of getting the achievement, then I would say play the game on Hard. But if you want a challenge and if you want just to go that extra mile, then I would recommend trying out Nightmare mode. I think it was a fun playthrough. It was definitely enjoyable, and I think it was just the right amount of difficult. Yeah, so like, for example, Gears of War 4 still, to date, is what I consider the hardest game I've ever beat. I beat that on Insane by myself, and then apparently one of my viewers just told me that Gears of War came out with a new difficulty setting called Inconceivable Mode, and then there's also a new thing called Iron Man, which is like a permadeath thing. And I can easily say that after having beaten that game on Insane, I'm not even going to try Inconceivable Mode. From what I hear, from what the viewer told me, they said that it's not that it's much harder, it's just that you are much weaker. So like the enemies are kind of like a normal strength, but there's just, you have less health basically. And I just feel like that's unnecessary. I feel like that's something that the developers just kind of threw out there to try to keep people interested in the game. And for me, it's just not going to work. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I think that they should have just kept Insane as the hardest difficulty. So I'm probably not going to revisit that. But anyway, you're going to notice the video speed up slightly here. That's because, like I said, for the next like 10 minutes, for the next, I think it's like the next 10 minutes, we're actually going to be outside of the space station here. And we just kind of have to walk around and complete our objective. And it's kind of boring. In my opinion, it really kind of throws off the pace of the game. Like, the game was so interesting and it was getting really exciting because we're reaching the end, and then it just does this, and in the spacesuit you walk really slowly. You can't sprint, you can't use weapons, there's no threat, there's nothing to worry about out here, there's no enemies. So this part was just kind of really boring, and that's why I decided to speed it up a little bit so that you didn't have to sit through, 15 minutes or so of just me walking. But anyway, so you're going to get to this location here. The video will resume normal speed. And you're going to approach this little terminal here. And you're going to attempt to input the coordinates. But it turns out, of course, there's something wrong with it. So you can't yet, you can't yet finish your objective. So yeah, anyway, there's something that I wanted to... There's something that I wanted to bring up, so you can go ahead and just follow the gameplay here. Again, you're going to see the video get slowed down here because this is actually something that you have to do. But I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to make a separate video about this. But so I already have a list of games that I want to make a walkthrough for. Like Evil Within and Halo, and then there's a couple new games coming out. But while I'm still on summer vacation, I've also wanted to try to get back into doing Let's Plays. Just kind of casual Let's Plays, because I'll be honest, when you make hardest difficulty walkthroughs, it is a bit stressful. Because the games are so hard. And so lately I've been kind of just wanting to play games for fun. And so I thought it might be fun to try doing Let's Plays again. Where I would just play the game on normal and just kind of have fun playing it. So I'm gonna, I already have a couple games that I want to do for walkthroughs. So the question I want to pose for you guys is, are there any games that you'd like to see me do Let's Plays for? Obviously, you know, I don't have all the money in the world, so I can't go out and buy a ton of new games. And I might not have access to some of the games that you guys recommend, but, you know, if you just want to share in the comments, like, some ideas you have for games that you would like to see me play live, like with a face cam and stuff, feel free to let me know. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. One game that I was thinking about doing was, you know, they recently had Season 3 of the Telltale Walking Dead game. So I've been thinking about going back to the beginning and kind of like playing Season 1 and 2 and working my way up to 3. So that's just a thought. That's just a thought. And keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a blind Let's Play. You know, if you want to see me play, a different game like Batman or Uncharted or Dead Space or, you know, really anything that I've already played, if you want to see me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a blind Let's Play. It could be a game that I've already played. So just feel free to leave a thing in the comments below. And like I said, I'm also going to probably make a separate video asking people if there's any games they'd like to see me play. So yeah, and then, you know, something I have been thinking about doing is live streaming. I have 3 monitors now, so I have all the technical things. The only thing is, I read online that if you want to do live streaming, you have to have a wired connection to the internet. You can't really do wireless because it's too unreliable. So that's a problem because I am not directly connected to my router, which I can probably easily change, but still I would have to, you know, I'd have to change my setup a little bit in order to accommodate for that. But that's something I've been thinking of doing as well. So if you'd like to see me do like a live stream where I can live chat with you and things like that, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And if enough people are interested in something like that, I can definitely give it a try. I think it'd be kind of fun. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I can try to set things up so that it'll work out. I'll just have to kind of change the setup and the router and stuff. Anyway, after you input those coordinates on the two wheels, again, you're going to see the video speed up here because we're pretty much done. You just have to wait for the satellite to align. And again, this is really annoying because the game kind of forces you to stand here and wait for the satellite. You can't just leave. And yeah, all that's happening now is Ripley's talking to the Torrens, which is the ship she rode in on, and she's saying, oh, hey, I need to get out. I need to get the hell out of here. So yeah, nothing huge. I'm kind of tired, I'll be honest. It's actually pretty early in the morning, and I haven't eaten much food yet, so I'm getting kind of hungry. But that's not something you care about. So anyway, yeah, so the video will speed up here because all we're doing is walking back to the station. And now we just have to backtrack. So we're just going to backtrack pretty much through every room that we went through on our way here. The only difference this time is the alien is going to be in the room. And so remember, that's why I recommended keeping the humans alive, was so that the only reason I recommended keeping the humans alive was so that the alien would be distracted by them instead of trying to kill us on our way out. So here you'll see we resume normal speed. You're going to want to save your game. But before you save your game, you might want to get out of your spacesuit, just so that if you happen to die and if you respawn right here, you won't have to take off your spacesuit every single time. But there are actually a lot of save locations in this level, so you shouldn't have to worry. And that's actually something I noticed, is it seems like in the last couple of chapters they give you a lot more save stations, which is very fortunate, and definitely something I wish they would have done early on. Alright, so now this is where things get serious. This is where things get a little tougher. We had that nice little break where we had to go out. So you're going to see right here, look through the window, and you're going to see an alien just burst through the ceiling, and immediately it's going to start running after all the humans. So there you go, the alien dropped down, and now you can see there's like 3 humans in this room, and the alien's just going to go to town right here. It's going to have a blast, and you can even see one of these guys right outside our window. Boom, he just got taken out, and the alien doesn't even see us, and so now that the door's open, again, the alien, there's going to be another human in here. So the alien is going to run after that person and get distracted, which you're about to hear right now. So you can hear the human shooting and then the screaming. And so that's perfect. Because the alien was distracted by that human that we intentionally kept alive, that means we were able to get to these vents without a problem. And that is why I recommended keeping the vents open so that you didn't have to worry about the alien in this section. There is going to be a point where it still does get right in my face, and I think I even have to use my flamethrower. So remember, you're going to want to conserve as much flamethrower fuel as you can, but sometimes it's just impossible. Sometimes you got to use it, and so don't be too worried about using it. Anyway, so here's the elevator. We're going to take that back down, and you might want to save your game before doing so, as long as the alien's not chasing you or anything. And there you go. So now the alien is out of the, or not the alien, that room is out of the picture. You don't have to worry about that for the rest of this level. And so now all we have to do is make our way, once again, just backtrack through everything else that we saw on our way here. And once again, it's going to be a lot easier because we intentionally kept the humans alive on our way up here, so that now the alien will hurt them and not be as, the humans will distract the alien and we'll be much better off. So make your way back down this hallway and then go through the door, and if you turn to your right, you can see Ricardo. Remember, Ricardo was here waiting for us, and unfortunately for us, Ricardo is now gone. And that's something I didn't like. That's a death that I didn't like, because Ricardo was like the one, so Samuels, the AI, he sacrificed himself for us. Very noble cause. That was a good death. Taylor, she died in the last mission, but, no one really cares because Taylor was just a small character anyway that we never really even dealt with, so Taylor's death wasn't a big deal. The Waits, Marshall Waits, he died earlier on, but that was pretty predictable because he was just a dick. He was, intentionally meant to be the dick. And so I didn't care that he died. That was like a fine death with me. But Ricardo was a good guy. Ricardo's been helping us this whole time. He had no reason to die there. I feel like they could have easily allowed the game to end with Ricardo getting to safety as well. Or at least giving Ricardo a better death than just a random face hugger. Maybe he travels with us and an alien tries to kill us and Ricardo pushes us out of the way, or something, just a little bit more of a noble death than that. So that was something that kind of bothered me. But anyway, you're going to return back to the top of this staircase, and this is a good point to save your game, because I think this is the last save point you're going to get. And so now we have to backtrack all the way, through these halls, and we have to get to an elevator. And so it's very easy to get lost, so make sure you follow this approach. And we're actually going to try to stick to the vents. So you're going to see that I take a couple vents, and again, remember, I kept the humans alive on purpose so that the alien would kill them instead of being distracted by me, but holy shit, if you look at that, the alien was just standing right there. That was very fortunate. But now the alien's going to wander off, and you're about to hear in a couple seconds, it'll start running after humans, and you'll hear the humans shooting at it and screaming, and the alien is just going to slaughter them. So I'm going to duck back into this vent. Remember, this is the vent that I took earlier. And that's a good thing, because since we opened it from the inside, that means we don't have to use our ion torch to open that giant orange panel. So that's another benefit of going through the tunnel on your way in rather than on your way out. Because if you have to use the ion torch, it's going to take about 20 seconds to cut off that giant panel. Now you're going to come to this room here. You still got to be careful. Even if you killed the humans, and even if it's just you and the alien, you still got to be careful here. It's the same strategy. You're going to crouch, you're going to be careful, you're going to be patient, and you're just going to want to follow this line here. So go ahead and make your way along the outer rim of this room. And I think right here, this is where I kind of got unlucky. Maybe. It might be later on. But there was one point where the alien did get a jump on me, unfortunately. But you hear right now, so the humans are shooting at the alien. So that's why I'm making my move. But unfortunately, I made my move just a bit too late, and I think the alien's going to run after me here. So yeah, you see there, I missed my opportunity, so I'm just going to spray the alien, and then while it's distracted, I'm going to run and get into this vent as quickly as I can. And you've got to do that quick, because the alien can still run after you. But yeah, there you go. Once you go through this vent, you're pretty much golden. You're pretty much close to the end here. You still got to be careful, of course, but yeah, I shouldn't have missed that opportunity. The alien was killing the human, and I waited just a second too long. If I would have gone, 2 seconds earlier, I could have easily done that without wasting any flamethrower fuel. So hopefully you can do that better than I was able to. But anyway, you're going to open yet again another orange panel. And this is going to take you right back out into the hallway that we need to be in. You'll see that the alien's right there, so I'm just going to kind of duck back and wait a couple seconds, make sure that it is, in fact, going to run away. And again, that alien is running around killing humans. And you can always tell that's when the alien is running fast like that, and when you hear it screaming like you just heard, that means it's killing humans. And so that's always a good chance for you to make a break for it. But you do gotta be careful, because, you know, if you sprint, it can still hear you, and it will run after you after it's done killing the humans. So that's why you notice I'm just crouched here. Again, I had to use my flamethrower because I didn't wait long enough. So, like I said, using your flamethrower is not the end of the world. You know, it's okay to use it. That's what it's for. But you do want to try to conserve as much as you can, especially for chapters 17 and 18. Now, you see this guy here. I was contemplating killing him, but then I noticed he was standing there waiting for the alien, so I said, hey, you know what? I could probably just sneak right behind him. And so that's exactly what I did. And once you get past him, you're done. You're just going to make your way towards the elevator. And that's the end of Mission 16. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. Now, the elevator is going to be right up here through this door. And there you go. So, yeah, that's about everything. I will see you in Mission 17. We are almost done with this game.